Yourself.
Okay, we are getting ready.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
There you
getting
go.
ready
All right,
to,
we're rolling. Here we go.
Yeah. How does it look?
It looks way better. It ain't up right up on you.
It ain't up. It ain't all right up in your.
People don't feel like they're.
How does it?
No, what are you doing?
I know.
People don't want to be right up in your mustache.
Yeah, they want to be.
Do I need to do it like this so I can
No.
people can see me?
That's the way you do it anyway.
No, it ain't the way I.
I'm ganged up on here. Oh. And I got dust bunnies in my mouth. Look, I want you to look. Hand me a screwdriver. This is what he got. It looks like
Did the screw come out?
it ain't no bigger than a bee.
Did the screw come out?
Yeah, I don't even know where it came out so good it disappeared. How about that? Alright, you gonna work? There it is. Oh, that's a rock. Never mind. You gonna go up or what?
Are y'all ready?
I'm ready. I mean, I'm trying to be ready, but whoa, I ain't ready.
Well, it would have fell by now. Put it 10 feet in the air.
Is it last time?
I don't know, but I can tell you this. I'm walking on sunshine.
Sorry.
All right, we got the gray van on the lift. We're going to start taking the whole front assembly out from under it so we can start fabricating the spring hangers and all for the leaf springs to get the front differential under it. You only got one on each side of the bottom.
One on each side at the bottom.
And then the two at the top on either side.
What we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to lower the van down to the table here. So we just got a couple, 3 or 4 bolts just holding this in. We're going to take those bolts out and raise the van up off of it, and hopefully the motor doesn't drop out to the bottom when we raise it up and get this suspension coming down. All right, we got it. As you see, we got it all out. Now we're gonna get the front bumper off, and once we get the bumper off, we'll be able to start measuring and getting the spring hangers, because the front spring hangers will mount right here, but they will actually mount on the bolt-in mount that we make. That'll bolt to the front and then bolt under here. And then when we get back here to where the rear spring hangers go, the shackles, they usually hit about right here in this bend. So we have to make what we call the end ribber to get it in line with the front spring mount, front spring hanger, because it's all got to be in line. And they hit about right here in the bend. So we know exactly how the front is going to be done. Every time we do them at the back, we tweak and change up a little bit. We we're probably going to do these back ones pretty close to the same way we did them on my van, Timothy. But all that up there at the front's always the same because we've got a plate that we make that bolts on there. So that's where we're at.
Here, grind this crap.
Yeah, here.
Clean it. What's that? What is it?
Tell them why we got to start grinding and cutting now that the bumper is off.
Because the front plate that wraps around to the frame here, it ties in just like that.
Right.
You can see that. You can imagine that. Anyway, and we got to cut a relief here so our plate will run all the way through here and have a slight bend and be bolted and mounted just real nice. One of these is tilted and the other one's this is the wonky one. So you got to build one. You got to pattern one out first and then cut it wonky and then
Because the frame's here and then it cuts
weird.
out this way.
It's some weird
and
stuff.
then check out this one.
This is what we'll be using to put the piece that he's talking about we got cut out. These pieces will be welded to that piece that bolts to the van for the front part of the spring. And then we got the rest for the rear for the shackles. And of course, we have to make that to mount these too. But you'll see all that when we start working on it. That's when the time. That's what takes the time.
Yep.
And getting it all centered up. And you have to make sure. We have to make sure that it's all the. You want to make sure that the differential is square under the van. Make sure it's centered under the van, and then you got to get the pitch right for the pinion angle. And it's all a process. It's kind of hush hush. We won't tell you how we do that.
Yeah, because it's super top secret stuff.
Yeah.
It only takes the most developed minds in science to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, but what we did, Ivan
I'm screwed.
was telling me a little bit about the way the driver's side does. What'd you say, cattywampus?
Wonky.
Wonky. So you can't just put the spring hangers directly up on the van because everything is pushed over to the passenger side.
Yeah.
So this hanger will pretty much be mounted right directly in the center of this. This one is a little off center. So what we do is we find the dead center point of the van. You can't even go by the engine.
I was going to say, this
you
shot
can
right
see,
here.
This is about the center of the van, and you can see the center of the engine. So everything is to the passenger side. So what we do is we find dead center in the engine and find dead center of the rear of the front differential. And of course, we know how much is 32 inches center to center on that, and then we get it centered under the vehicle.
Here we go. There you go. There's a plate. That's the plate.
Got this visual aid there, bud.
Yeah.
So that plate is going to go yon way. Bolt up
See how
there.
it looks a little lizard-like?
A little wonky. All right, we're back in the shop today. It's about 8 o'clock this morning. It's just me and Ivan this morning. Seth is on the way back from Bristol, Tennessee today. He should be back probably sometime around lunchtime. But what we're going to do today, we're going to start working back on the gray van for Tom up in Massachusetts. Ivan is going to start working on the motor mount for the van here. And what we'll do here, this is the mounts that we use to make the motor mount. And then what this will do is it'll go up in here like this. But he's going to make the mounts that go to the frame just like we do on all of them. We use the existing bolt holes here where the front subframe bolted to. So what he'll do is he'll make the mounts for that and weld the motor mount in to support the engine. And once we get it supported, it'll be a little safer to work around up under there, and we'll be able to cut the old shock mounts off and start working on the front hangers for the front springs. So that's our plan today. We'll with only two of us here, it's hard to work on multiple things and also do the filming. We may try to get Olivia down here to help do some, to help just show how the process goes. But that's what we're doing today, and we'll try to keep it updated and posted just as much as possible.
That motor's see it?
Yeah.
You just need to tighten it up.
Ivan's cutting the angle for the motor mount cradle. All right, Ivan has got the front engine cradle mocked up. This is what we got here. You can see he's got it tacked in here. We've got the angle where we use the 3 bolts for the factory mount, and then we will come out here with another plate that we weld onto this, and we tie into these 2 bolts and actually put the shock mount here, and then we'll clean all this stuff up, clean the edges up and paint it up. And then we'll have the engine cradle when the shock mount's done.
Oh yeah, we got a small TP like blue flame coming out. You on fire watch, bud?
Oh yeah.
Fire watch.
Catch on fire, I'll video it for a second for comedy effect. And then I'll warn you, and then we'll panic and scramble.
Can't ask for nothing better than that. You know what I mean?
Pretty good. Looks real good. It looks like a row of nickels laid up on there. That's cool.
That's the money shot right there.
All right, what Seth is doing right now is there's a little lip. As you can see, there's a little lip right here. And what we have to do, when we make the piece that goes under the frame rail, we use these 2 bolt holes here, and both the piece that goes back under the frame rail where the actual spring hanger will weld to. But you have to cut this lip off and then grind this surface flat so it will all fit as flush as possible. Then we'll weld it to this front piece that we make here. So that's what he's doing now, is cutting that lip off and grinding it down so we can start making the spring hangers. All right, Ivan just cut the piece of metal out for the front spring hanger mount that we got to weld to the piece on the front. Seth is grinding the spring purchase off of the rear end. We got it in here working on it because we've got to move the spring purchase. We'll actually cut these off, and new ones will go about right here. We took the diff cover off. Everything looks good. It actually... It's a factory positive traction, so that's a plus. We'll get it all cleaned up, checked out. We'll put all new brakes on it and have it good looking, ready to go. It'll look as good as this one right here when we get done with it. So we're working on that, chugging along. We've got one of the pieces cut and made right here that'll mount. This is where we'll weld. This is what we'll weld the spring hanger to. That bolts the springs up, and then we'll come back here and make the other ones. They'll go about right in here. You have to actually make an end rigger. It'll actually be about right here on both sides. So we have to relocate all these fuel lines here. On this side, we'll have to redo the shift linkage. We'll actually cut this and shorten it because it hits about where this rear shackle mount goes. So it's a job, it's a process, but we're getting it knocked out.
live.
We,
That's what this means. That's what that means.
we got the front plate mocked up here. This is what we make when we do the spring hangers. Ivan's got everything tacked up. We've got the spring hangers mounted, tacked up here. Seth's going to do a little bit of grinding in there so we can get some more weld on it. Once we get that done, we take this bar here, we'll cut it to length, and we'll put it in between the hangers right here, weld that in, and then this whole piece that bolts under here to the front bumper, it'll bolt behind the bumper, will come off, and it'll be one whole piece.
Hey. Loud.
We'll get it all off, we'll clean it up, get all the rough edges off, paint it, and when it goes on there, it'll look good. It'll look like a new piece. And what would we've said this before, the vans are not, the frame rails on these things are not dead center. This side, this spring hanger here, you can mount it dead center of the frame rail. The one on the driver's side, the way that frame rail is, you have to be out a little bit, and it's just the way we do it. We just find the dead center point of the van. We know that the spring perches on the front differential are 31.5 from hole to hole where the springs sit, so we mount these accordingly to that to center the front differential up when it goes under the van. So that's the way it is. We'll get all this welded up, pull it off, clean it up, paint it, put it back on there. Then what we'll do is we'll measure back how far we got to go at a straight angle on each side, and then we'll make the hangers for the back for the rear shackle hangers, and that's where they'll go back there. That's when it gets real interesting, is when we get back there, because there's a lot of work we got to do back there. But Seth's gonna grind it up, Ivan's gonna weld it up.
And you're just
I think I'm gonna sit back and
watch
just
it all
watch.
happen. It don't matter now. It's on there. I feel like it's on there. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's on there. If it's not good now, there's no
She never
going back.
was.
We will have to retake the lead. Wrap you up, man.
I like them big ones you plug in the wall. And it's that's not good.
Man, plug-in stuff is a thing of the past. All the cool guys use cordless.
I don't care about that. I like plugging stuff.
All right, I'm just telling you what the cool guys use.
So
And
why
all-
are we drilling these holes?
And
Well, I
all the
don't
cool
wanna be a cool
shops.
guy.
Well, this is what the cool shops use.
I don't care. Gosh.
I see you don't care. We're drilling these holes because to
That's
attach
what you do. That's what you just got to do it.
No, and I don't know why this is the case. And I don't know what year's up to. These are the two bolt holes that the bumper bolts to. The bumper bolts here and here. And there's no holes here, but in somewhere like 92 or 93, they started making 4 bolt holes. So the plates, when we make the plates, we just drill them for the 4 bolt holes that are on the newer ones, and when we put them on these older ones, we just drill these holes out of the existing holes we put in a plate, just to have just more attach points for it when we bolt it up. Probably overkill, but you know, we don't want it going anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, we've got this whole piece when it's all put together, it's one, and it's bolted to the van at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 points. So I don't think it's going anywhere. The last, I think I said before, the last two we did, this is exactly the way we made it. My van, Timothy's got it on there, and it's, God, we've checked it 3 or 4 times. Nothing has come loose. All the bolts stay tight, so it's what works until it quits working. This is the way we're going to do it. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Cool guy.
You're still talking about the cord drills, aren't you?
No.
Well, we need
Not really.
good bits. People are probably going to say we should be spraying oil on there to cool.
There's a little bit of oil.
All right. Well, after a few days of thrashing and bashing, we have something to show for it.
Yeah, we got the front mount made for the spring hangers the way we do them. Ivan got it all welded up, and Seth got it all painted up this afternoon. But and I think we showed the rough cut of it. But this is the way we do the front hangers for the front leaf springs, and it's worked out good on the vans. It's a direct bolt on it. In my opinion, it's stronger and more attached than what came from the factory on square body trucks. They just had your spring hangers were just single hangers on each side, just attached to the frame with rivets. We've actually got both sides tied together in several places. I think we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 bolts hold that thing on to the front. And it's solid. It won't go anywhere. But it's painted up, pretty ready to go. We'll put this on tomorrow. The next thing we'll do once we get this on is we'll start getting the springs attached to the front, and we'll swing them to the rear and get the rear mounts made. We've got the rear end working on it. Seth started cleaning it up today. We got to order all the brake stuff for it. We're going to get, of course we would anyway, brand new brake cylinder, wheel cylinders, all new pads, the whole kit, springs, everything for the rear end. Everything under the rear end looks good. It's actually got a positive traction unit in it. All of it looks good. So that makes the customer happy. We got the front end ready. We've got one, and I don't know why it did. This front end had this tie rod on it. I believe this is a tie rod off of a 1-ton because the ball joints aren't fitting up in the knuckles. And the new steering stabilizer we got on the 1/2 tons, there is an eyelet here that this bolts to. So we're going to find another tie rod for this, and it'll be pretty much ready to go under the van, in which we'll need it because we're at the point where we're going to put springs on it and start getting this mounted up under the van and squared up and all where it goes. So that's where we're at. We're rolling along. It's been going fairly good. It's just a time-consuming process to make everything and get it all right. And it would be so easy. We had even talked about doing bolt-on kit to be able to have all this stuff pre-made, but the vans, they're so different. It's just you can't do it. And let me show you this. We found this out today. On my van, the last 2 vans that we did, we had to cut this where the cross member goes because it was the transmission was hitting it. And I got to looking, and this one looked a lot higher. And I got under my van, Timothy, and this is a completely different cross member where the transmission bolts. Mine is actually back here, and we had to cut it. Hung down another 2 inches. We had to cut it, and the only thing I can figure out, we've got another 87 out there, 3 87s. 2 of them are like mine. This one is this. The 2, mine and the other 87 have turbo 400s in them. This has got a 700 R4 with a turbo 400. This mount was actually back here. So instead of doing like they did on the trucks, where they just had bolt holes in the frame where you could move the cross member when you swap transmissions, evidently they made these vans to whatever transmission they were going to put in it, and made the cross member mount in the position where it goes for the transmission. So that was something new we learned today. As many of these that we've been under and we've done, we just realized that and found that out today. So that's actually a good thing. I don't think we'll have to modify this as much. We're going to have to modify it some, but not as much as we did on my van. So anyway, you learn something new every day. But getting to the reason I was saying that is we had talked about doing a bolt-on kit and selling it, and it's just the vans are so different. The holes, where the holes are where stuff bolts up, the factory holes that we use, they're not in the same place on any of the vans that we've done. So we don't want to get into a situation where we're advertising or telling people we're selling a bolt-on kit and they get it there and the holes don't line up. There's another company that makes a bolt-on kit. I'm not going to say the name, but I researched them, and that was the only complaint that I saw people had, is that when they got the kit, the holes didn't line up. And I was like, well, God, why would they do that? But after fooling with the vans, it's not the company's fault. It's the differences in the vans. So as it stands right now, we're not going to sell any kind of bolt-on kit, because I don't want to get in a situation where somebody buys it and the bolt holes don't line up, because they're not going to blame the vans. They're going to blame us for not making the part right. So for right now, we're just going to make them for ourselves, make them in-house, and we'll just make one to each van as we go. There's certain things that we'll probably try to pre-make to make it go a little bit faster, but as it stands right now, it's not too bad to make them for each van. At least you can say that's a custom one-off anyway when we do it that way. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're getting it done. We're going to try to get more videos and get better at getting the content out there, and really try to document this a lot more. So if you do want to do it yourself, hopefully what we're doing will help you and you can do it. But anyway, that's it. Like and subscribe, please, and tell everybody to like and subscribe. Comment on anything. And explain to the viewers again exactly what wonky is.
Wonky is that. No matter what it is, if it does that, it's wonky.
Let me tell you something, bud.
Willie was sort of wonky.
That was wonky, what you just did.
See? It's a perfect rendition of wonk.
Alright.
Hey, I forget, ain't nobody, everybody ain't from where I'm from. So,
We still haven't figured out where that is.
Well, when Reedsville, we like to say it's a little cattywampus.
Yeah, cattywampus is a perfect normal word.
Yep.
I accidentally screwed up with that. Just talking in general is hard.
Man, I heard that.
We got